What's going on, people? It's Behind Closed Doors preview. My name is Mr. Dore. How is everybody? How's everybody? Oh, I feel great. Not really, I'm joking. Let's talk about the Swansea game. I don't know where to start, people. Awful. That's what I can say. It was shocking. How from start to finish. I know we can talk about the offside goal, the penalty that shouldn't have been. Far from that was awful. And then guess who we got next? We got Barnsley, another burger team that we always lose to. We've lost 3 in a row, and I've got my mate Andy, who you remember from the Barnsley preview. He might laugh at me because, in my eyes, if people can remember, in my start of season prediction on the league table, I said Barnsley will finish bottom of the table. Now look at them. They're taking the mick out of us. And now we've got them tomorrow. And I haven't got a clue. But like I said, I'm bringing Andy in 2 minutes. What's everyone's prediction? As well, if anyone got any questions for myself or Andy, put them in the comment section as well. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, like as well. But yeah, people, another massive game, and I'm going to talk to Andy about the last game that we played. We lost, I think it was lost 2-0 to him, and everything Barnsley, because like I said, Barnsley have been fantastic this season under the new manager, and it's just Barnsley. Like I said, I thought they'll get relegated, but they're not. They've not been. We are the league table. They're 12th. But to me, is that bad? Is that a bad thing for Barnsley to be 12th? No, because they've got a good side, they've got a good manager, and this is why I'm going to bring Andy in a minute to talk about Barnsley. But like I said, people, comment below any questions. What do you think the prediction will be, and what do you think the score will be? Let me bring in Andy now. Hello, my friend. I didn't, Andy.
Not bad at all. I thought you were wearing a Barnsley shirt for a minute.
Oh, don't. So, Andy, I'm just saying, my opinion, Barnsley have been, they've been fantastic. What is happening? What is going on with Barnsley?
Well, we've been playing pretty well. I mean, remember that we've got I think we've got the youngest squad in the division. So they've got lots of energy, and it's what we need. Ishmael is demanding a high press and a high energy game. So we put players under pressure. Now, if you play against particularly good players, that are in our opposition's defence, then they're usually okay with it. But if there's any chink in that, if it's any, like when I was younger, a lot of cloggers playing football, they get put under pressure and make mistakes, and we can capitalise on that. So in that respect, we're playing all right. We've started to pass it pretty well, and it's the energy levels and the enthusiasm is really good. I have to say though, for the match coming up, we had a really tough game in midweek on Wednesday night against Cardiff when we were 2-0 up and two got, and then they scored 2 goals. I'm not going to talk about the ref. I'll not talk about the ref.
Who was the ref?
Every week I could talk. Hey,
who was the referee?
Andy Woolmer. I could talk about the refs every single fucking week. So that's not good. But it was a very tough, how can I put it, an industrial game almost towards a very, very physical game. So, you had a week's rest.
Cardiff are a physical side, aren't they? Though they are a physical side.
Oh, very, very. I mean, the good bit, the good bit is that we had, I think, our worst performance of the season at Cardiff itself, and they beat us 3-1, and they bullied us. They didn't do that on Wednesday night, so we've grown a bit for that. We've shown that we can stuck up for that and not get put about. But it's only a few days ago, and you've had a week off. From last week, although last week weren't the best week for you. You've had a footballers are delicate little flowers. They've been able to put their feet up a little bit, haven't they, and have a little bit of a rest. And that apart, apart from the FA Cup, and it's the FA Cup, you've not done badly recently in the league. I think you've only lost one in the last half dozen matches. I know there's a few draws in there.
We've lost. We was unbeaten in 7, and we lost. Like I said, we lost to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the only one you've lost in the last half dozen, I think, in the league. So, and I when I came on last time, if you remember, well, I think I said anyway that I thought that if we'd have had a decent season if we finish next year or just below you, or I didn't think that. Who knows? You can't be arrogant or in this game, because it can come back and bite. You can't. You can do well and then all of a sudden drop like a stone. So I'm not going to start. We're 12th at the minute, and I predicted at the start of the season that if we were going to have a really good season, we'd finish up 13th. So I also thought that we'd do well if we just finished just below you. And as it stands at the minute, but it'll change. I've no doubt it'll change, and I hope it changes for Forest. But you're 10 points behind, and I hope. I have absolutely. I mean, I see the highlights, but I've absolutely no idea what's going on with the players that you've got, particularly in midfield and the attacking. I don't know what on earth is going on.
Like the thing with Forest, Andy, like, as you know, we've got one of the best sides in the league on paper. And Forest fans in the comments, I don't know if you agree or not. Do you think we've got the best squad teams in the comment? But you look at, like I said, you look at Barnsley. They've got players like Wardrobe. Is it what's his name? Wardrobe.
Called the Woodrow.
Yeah. I wish we had him, because I want to talk about it, Andy. You beat us 2-0 at Oakville. Yeah. Like, I think it was the last 10 minutes that you absolutely battered us. Like, you could have scored. I know you scored 2, but it could have been 4 or 5-0 to Barnsley, and like, we were shocking. What was your opinion on that game? Because I thought like Barnsley, they hit the bar twice, didn't they? And if you look at Barnsley, like, that's why I'm surprised. I think they should be higher than 12th, because you brought in the manager, and everyone was like, I don't know if you was, everyone was like, who is he? And you come tomorrow, and I'm not. I don't know if I am. I'm not confident tomorrow. That's how I think Barnsley have been played. Because like Barnsley, if you remember last season, Barnsley, we beat you 1-0, but I remember you battered us. You absolutely hammered us. And I don't know how we won that game. What has changed, Andy? What has changed the Barnsley team since the managers come in?
Well, I think there's been a few things. I think one of the things is that because we got so many young players, particularly early on in last season, we played all right. We played some decent football, but we made some daft mistakes. We made some wrong choices, particularly in defence. And whether that was collectively or quite often individual mistakes, you only need one a match, and you're playing against decent strikers, they're going to score. And I think we struggled. When the lockdown came and then went, and football were allowed to start again, there weren't the fans there, I think, to get on players' backs if they made a mistake. So I think that helped originally, and I think since then they've got a year older and they're growing up. There's still a long way to go for them. But we have got some quality players both in defence, in midfield, and up front. But collectively they play very well. What the manager's changed and is he uses substitutes wisely. I think we were probably the first side ever to bring on 4 substitutes at once. It brought, when it changed from 3 subs up to 5, we brought 4 on at one time, and it's helped keep up the energy levels, towards the end of the match. I honestly thought that, last season early on this season when we beat you 2-0. I honestly thought it might well finish at 0-0, and we'd be ruining those missed chances. Hitting the bar.
But Andy, I feel like when I watched the game, like, yes, you like I said, you hit the bar twice, and I thought it was going to be 0-0, but who was that? Was it the left back who scored that wonderful goal?
Yeah,
What a
Alan
goal!
Styles,
Yeah, when you scored that first goal, it was all Barnsley, and like I said, you could have scored even another 2 goals because we collapsed. We absolutely collapsed, and Forest fans. I remember Forest fans saying like, "Yes, you beat. I think you beat us 3 in a row." As people know, it just I just wish we had the passion that Barnsley had, because like I said, like I said, I keep repeating when I said Barnsley will finish bottom of the league because they've always been like a yo-yo club, haven't they? And always getting League One, Championship League One, and if I'd like, I know the transfer window closes. Have you brought anyone this transfer window yet?
Yeah, we brought Carlton Morris in from from Norwich. He's a striker that's he come from Norwich, but he's been out on loan a few times to Shrewsbury, and I think MK Dons. I think I'm not sure about that.
Do you think Barnsley will go in the playoffs?
No.
Don't you think?
I've got other people. There's other people on our Red All Over show that think it, but you know there's a difference between there's some young uns on our show that says yes we could well make the playoffs because the young uns they're not like me and Smithy, the older ones on the show. You know, the Statler and Walder.
Like from outside, Andy, from outside, I think Barnsley, like I even said Reading will be like a team that'll be up there, and I think they're winning 3-0 against Bournemouth. And if I don't know. If Barnsley buy, I don't know, one more player throughout the transfer window, a decent player, I think they've got a shout. I think they really have got a shout. Don't you think?
Well, it's trying to buy a striker. Apparently, we're still, you know, there's a few irons in the fire. Apparently, if we bring a decent striker in, then it could make a difference because we have got a young squad. I mean, we had Matty James on loan from Leicester for a while for the first half of the season, and he brought up an old head to the centre of midfield. And that helped. Is now, you know, they recalled him and then sent him out on loan to Coventry, and he'll do well as a quality player. But we've got young players like Ramal Palmer that's come in and fitted in this position, and these are good players. You know, they're not young, but because they're all young. Apart from a couple, and you know Michael Solbauer, who's a centre half we brought in from Austria, he's a quality defender. He really is a quality defender, and he brings an old head and an organisation to the back, to the back three as we play that we didn't have before. So in that respect, things have changed and they've changed for the better. We go for it. What we can't do is defend. If we try to defend a lead and then beat a team on as a breakaway, if you like, it don't work for us. We're not that sort of team. We've got to go for it and keep that pressure on, and it brings us some rewards. I hope it'll continue. I mean, I don't want the same thing to happen as last season. That were too just. And I still would like to apologise that us beating you stopped you getting.
Andy, don't.
Well, I apologise. I've done something with the for the match day programme for Brentford because we're playing Brentford in a few weeks' time. And I've apologised for them for them not getting beaten them and not getting automatic promotion. So I seem to be spending most of my life apologising for us beating people. And I would apologise that much. I would glad
that will haunt me. I think, was it the 96th minute? 96th minute? And Forest fans in the comments, can you remember that game? It was just, we needed 1 point. We needed 1 point to get into the playoffs. And it just, I don't know, it was just horrible feeling. So who's been like? So you mentioned like a few players, Andy. Who's been like the player that has surprised you so far this season?
They all have. I mean, I don't want you to give you the impression that we've got a good side. I mean,
I think you have a good side. You have.
Now, our goalkeeper's rubbish. The 3 defenders can't defend for toffee. Keep putting high balls up to our defenders, and they'll not win one in the air. Midfield, Alex Mowat. People think that he might well be able to dominate midfield. He doesn't. He can't even pick a Barnsley fan out. a Barnsley player. Callum Styles, the left wing back, and people keep going about Callum. You know, they keep calling him the Burry Baggio. It's just to fool you all. He's not got it. He's not good enough. Callum Britnell, the other fullback, the other wing back, he gets up and down a lot, but I wouldn't bother marking our two wing backs at all if I were you, because they're not going to cause any damage. Just let them run at you and get past you, because they're not going to cause any trouble. Cauley Woodrow, he might get a couple of lucky touches, but he ain't much of a striker. So if you let our wing backs get a crossing and get to Cauley's feet, I won't worry. I won't bother putting the effort in if I were you. In fact, I to say rest a few players if I were you.
Andy, you're a very sarcastic guy. I don't know people. If Andy's been sarcastic about what he's been really sarcastic. I don't know if people know this.
It's my age.
I think it must be your age. Andy, you've got Chelsea in FA Cup. What a tie!
Well, it's good because a number of years ago, we played them. We played them in the cup at Oakwell, and they were still one of the top sides around, and we beat them. We beat them with a great. I don't know. It was as it turned out. Luke Steele was our goalkeeper. He just signed for us, and it was his first match. And he was. I've never seen a goalkeeper make as many saves. So it was absolutely wonderful. So earlier on this season, we played them in the League Cup, Carabao Cup, and at Stamford Bridge, and they beat us 6-0. First 30 minutes, we were the best side, and then we just reverted. We played some other players, and we reverted to making daft mistakes. But we've since cut out. So, but yeah, we're a 6-0 thrashing. So I hope, I hope that it's the same as when we played them at Oakwell in the cup last time, and we beat them 1-0. But they're a quality side. I mean, it seems to be that people keep just before they play us, they get rid of the managers. Cardiff sacked the manager, and now Chelsea sacked the manager. And I think it's because they're scared to death to play the mighty Barnsley. I think that's what it is.
Who's playing home? Are you playing home or away?
Pardon?
Are you playing home or away against Chelsea?
That's a good point. Do you know?
People
I can't
in the
remember.
comments, does anyone know who's playing home at Barnsley? Because aren't you was like Chelsea not been well, as you know, they've not been great. Like I know they've got a new manager, but aren't you like a little bit like, yes, we can do this?
Well, listen, I'm too old to get giddy. We've got somebody on our Red All Over show, I'll tell you this, called Josh, bless him, and he couldn't care less about the FA Cup. He were happy for us to lose to Norwich so that we could just forget it, because and I just think he's just soft, young, soft, and daft. Me, I think the FA Cup's I don't understand why everybody wants to pick between the FA Cup and the league and what have you. I just think you want to do well in every competition. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be really interesting. I hope for the best, but I just sincerely hope we don't get thrashed, because that can destroy young players. It can destroy.
You've got Barnsley at home, Andy. So just thought I'd tell you that. You got Barnsley at home.
We have, yeah.
But like I said, Barnsley have got a good record. Like I said, we just beat you 1-0 last season. Are you confident that you'll get a result tomorrow?
Well, you haven't. I tell you, you've got. I don't know what's going on. I think you've got some quality players, and I've told you where our players are. Just don't bother marking them. Truthfully, don't bother marking them, because they'll not get anywhere. You've got some quality players that you just need to rest. I mean, Knockout. What a player he is when he's on his game. It's Lolly that I like. I really like Lolly as a player. I think he needs just to just sit it out and build his strength up. He won't
play tomorrow.
God's on us. I hope not. It'd be great for me, because I think he's an outstanding player. I really do. Not bullying you up. I think he's an outstanding player. I think it's one of those silly games that could go either way, and it really could go either way. From our point of view, it depends who turns up and how we play. If we play as we can play, then we'll give you a really good game. And on our show, we've got a guy, Alan Smith, who's he tells me he's our statistician, or he reckons he is. We call him Stato Smith. If he don't know it, he checks. If he don't know it, he makes it up. I swear he makes it up. But he reckons he knows everything. He reckons. Just have a look. He reckons that between us in the league, We've played each other 86 times. Barnsley's won 33 and Forest have won 31 of them, which amazes me that we've won more of those than Forest, and the rest have been draws. So, I hope you don't get, if you win, you'll be one closer to us. If you don't, you won't be. Yeah, it could quite literally. So it's at the City Ground. It could go either way, couldn't it? But I'm hopeful. But you can never. You shouldn't be arrogant. Like you, we have a number of people that we ask for our show in the comments of our show for score predictions, and we are getting as a set of fans a bit giddy because there's quite a few expecting us to win or are predicting that we will win at the minute. And not that many predicting that Forest will win, but who knows? I make my own predictions, and I honestly think it could go either way. It's a game of football, isn't it? Could go. I don't know.
People, like I said, tomorrow's against Barnsley. What's your prediction for tomorrow? If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Andy, talk about your channel.
Oh, the Red All Over. Oh, yeah. Happy to do that. We, I think I might. I don't know if I said last time. It used to be on a local radio show, a commercial radio show called Dore FM, which covered the Barnsley and the outlying areas, and the host and the sports commentator on it was a guy called Joe Beardsall, and he dragged Smithy into the studio now and again over the 3 years to commentate, and it went out as a show on a Thursday, on a Friday night. Smithy, because I've known Smithy for 62 years, because we're so ancient, known him since I was 4, since he was 5, because he's older than me. He's a year older. He's 67, and it makes a big difference. That year makes a big difference. I mean, you should see him. He looks a lot more than 1 year older than me. A lot more than that.
Andy, you look 21.
Thank you. Right. It's a bit misty. It's a bit misty where you are.
Just a tad.
So Smithy wrote me into going, and so I went a couple of times, and then Joe just asked if I could go more often. So for the last 2 years, we went to that. Of course, as often happens in life, the owners of the stations sold it, and it stopped being a commercial local radio station. So we had a lot of thought in the summer, what shall we do? And Joe wanted to continue because we had quite a few listeners. So we went to YouTube, and we started the Red All Over YouTube channel. It started nice because we used to go to the Garrison, which is a sports bar in the centre of Barnsley, and record it there, and that was nice. And of course, COVID happened properly. We locked down, proper lockdowns, as opposed to, you could have distance, the eat out to help out and all that. So like this, we started doing it on Zoom, and we knew that we'd get 4 subscribers, the 4 of us. Well, I'm not sure if Smithy would remember he got to subscribe, so maybe only 3 subscribers, but we thought we might get 4. And when I looked earlier on today, we've now got, and it's only 4.5 months ago since we've been doing it. We've got 729 subscribers, which for us, we think, we're not getting silly with it, and we hope it grows. It's a nice balance, because there's two youngish ones in the 20s. So there's Josh and Joe, and then there's the older fools, myself and Alan. So that because we've known each other a long while now, for a good 3 years, and 62 years. Oh, I can't shake him off. There's a nice banter, so it's not just about football. We do. I mean, obviously it's based on football, and it's all about Barnsley Football Club and who we've just played and who we're going to play the next match and all that, and some of the football topics of the day. But there's a nice, I think, and a lot of our viewers say there's a nice banter, we take the mickey out of each other. I mean, I've been called a few times, I've been called the pantomime villain, because Smithy, 62 years, I think I'm entitled to give him a bit of steak.
Just a tad.
So it's a nice balance that, I think anyway, I think it's an easy banter between us. So it's well worth watching. We have viewers and subscribers from all over the place, all over the world, including other clubs in in this country. So we've got a couple of Luton fans, there's a couple of Newcastle fans, Ipswich, Wolves. You know, it's nice. You know, I'm not sure if I want any Sheffield Wednesday fans, like, but you know, that's different.
So if you want, like, I have put Andy's YouTube link at the bottom. So if you want to do it now, you can do it. Go on the bottom link. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Basically, Andy, like I said, like I spoke to you not long ago. You're just like me. You like to have fun. You have banter, like I do with my friends Craig, Martin, and everyone else who's always on my channel. So everyone go down to the link. Take you 2 seconds. Click on his link and subscribe. The link is below. Two more things.
Well, can I just say there's an extra thing if people do. We it's me that finishes up doing it. We have a prediction, you know, like we say, we have a prediction every match, and we've had for the season. We're keeping all the predictions, and we publish a league table. You know, you get 3 points if you get the correct score, 1 point if you get the correct result, and obviously if you don't, absolutely nothing. In February, we did it in December, and we're going to do it again in February. In February, we're having the prediction thing, but the table's just, as well as keeping it for the whole season, it's also going to be just for February's matches. So, you know, if you win it, you get 30 quid's worth of vouchers. Second place is 20 quid's worth. Third place is 10 quid's worth. The Barnsley Football Club vouchers, that's the only drawback for you. But anybody's welcome. Just predict on the thing, and it'll all be computed on the spreadsheet, and it'll spew out the table and what have you. And anybody can join it. Anybody can enter. You know, don't matter. You know, we get people from Newcastle and elsewhere that are all Huddersfield as well. Huddersfield fan that all predict. And you know, obviously, I have to mention before we go is that I won it last time. But the sad bit is that because I'm on the show, I weren't allowed to have the 30 quid voucher, so it went to the second place person. And the real ignominy of it, because the second place person won it, then the third person, then the fourth person, well, my flipping son Jonathan, he got a 20 quid, he got a voucher instead of his dad. Wow. It's just well, it's a disgrace. It's just a disgrace, and you know, I think something should be done about it. I feel like taking it to court, but you know, I'll probably leave it just, you know, for the sake of harmony within the show. But anyway.
Last two things, Andy. I said you mentioned about you think Barnsley will finish mid-table. Do you still think the same, or don't you think a little bit higher?
I would say, I mean, what you got to remember, if you take the cup out. I know we've beaten Tranmere and Norwich in the cup this year so far. We've lost 3 and drawn 1. So since the new year, we've not done that well in terms of results. Because we're 12th at the minute, and our manager makes me chuckle because he sounds. I mean, he's a very, very clever guy. But he sounds like me and Smithy sometimes. He says we've only got however many wins to go, you know, to guarantee safety to get to the 50 points. You know, we only need another 15 points to get set, and that's how most Barnsley fans think. Let's avoid relegation first, and then we can start looking up and dreaming. 12th at the minute, and I tell you, I thought we were going to finish up 13th, and I'd be happy with either of them. Anything else as a bonus. I can't believe that we're getting to the giddy heights of getting into the playoffs this year. That'd be really silly. But of course, we beat 2 people in injury time at the end of last season, didn't we? Whoever it was, Brentford were one of the clubs, and whoever other team were, I can't quite remember. So you never know what could happen. You know, we could do it. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to be able to go to Wembley, but we won't be going to Wembley at this rate. That'd be cruel. That'd be so cruel.
Have you been Wembley yet? To the new Wembley yet? Have you been?
Oh, have we been? Oh, not that. See, you Forest fans, you know, you can talk about your league titles and your European Cups and all that, but I'll tell you one thing you haven't won that we've won in recent years, and you'll never ever win now. Never ever win. We went to Wembley and won. We beat the mighty Oxford United 3-2 to win the Johnson's Paint Trophy not that many years ago. And they've stopped it now. So we were the last winners of it. So we can claim that nobody's won it after us. So, you know, keep your European Cups. We've got the Johnson's Paint Trophy. What more do you want? Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
Andy,
I know you might be, but don't be.
last but not least, what do you think the score will be tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, I think you're going to. I think you're going to thrash us 5-0.
You're being sarcastic now. He's being sarcastic. Look at his face. He's like a poker face.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. I promise you, I'm not being sarcastic. What I'm doing is just lying. It's just out and out lying. I'm not being sarcastic at all. We're going to beat you 2-1. We're going to give you a goal later on. You know, referee will give you a nice goal later on, but it'll be 2-1.
Who is the ref? Do you know who's the ref?
I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, please don't be Keith Stroud.
Well, they're never for us.
Please don't be Keith Stroud, because I hate that referee.
There's a few good ones about him.
Andy, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure for you coming on the channel. You make me laugh, but you make me laugh. But people, like I said, Andy's channel is below. And what's it called, Andy, again?
Red All Over.
It's called Red All Over. Please do subscribe to his channel. Like I said, he's just like me and other content creators. We interact with people, with fellow Forest fans, Barnsley fans on YouTube. But yes, Andy, it's been a pleasure.
You're very gracious, and you've been busy all week, haven't you? I've kept seeing all your transfer news and gossip and whatever. What a week you've had! Flipping, eh?
Andy, I've got to do another one after this.
I'm assuming you haven't signed anybody for tomorrow, because I keep seeing it most days.
We brought in flipping Kronovic from West Brom. So he's a decent player, but I don't know if you know, Harry Arter's been told he can leave.
Oh, has it? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Harry Arter's been told he can leave Forest. I mean, we're after another loanee, but we've got 5 loan players, so I don't know why we're after another one. But it will be all reviewed tomorrow to what is happening at Forest. It's just every day. And as well, you know what, Andy? I'm going to ask you a question, because I'll tell and think about what I say. Okay. Would you? Well, this is people as well in the comment section below, and answer this really carefully. Would you support your rival club for 2 years for £1 million?
Which rival club instead of my club? You mean instead of my club for £1 million?
For £1 million for a rival club for 2 years.
Oh, do I look stupid? Of course I would. £1 million. Of course. I'll take. Look, I'll cover the flipping shirt up. Of course, £1 million.
Would you do it?
Oh God! Oh no! I'd even support Notts County. Of course I would. Of course I would.
Because I've got something coming up soon. I've got a lot of football fans on it as well, so that's coming soon as well. So you need to watch out for that, because there's quite a few fans said yes and a few said no. So
listen. I've been supporting Barnsley, I've told you, for 62 years. They've had a lot of my money. In fact, all my family have had season tickets, and there's 4 of us now got them. And I've paid for 3 of them. So they've had a lot of money out of me. I mean, my son and daughter both have had season tickets, and now my grandsons have got season tickets and all that. I call my son, my kids are called Jonathan and Catherine. They're like 38 and 40. I call Jonathan Ferrari, and I call Catherine French Chateau, because if it hadn't been for them, that's what they've had. I'd have been in a French chateau as we speak, supporting Bordeaux or somebody, Lyon, drinking wine with my Ferrari outside the front door. And now look at me. I'm here on a Forest show banging on about the flipping Johnson's paint trophy. And you ask me, would I shop it for £1 million? Oh, dear me. Easy.
Like I said, people, I've got a program coming out at 9 o'clock, not 10 o'clock Sunday morning. You cannot miss it. It's just, okay. It's really interesting what people say. But Andy, it's been a pleasure for coming to the channel, and hopefully Forest do battle Barnsley. But I don't know if we play the way against Middlesbrough and Swansea, you will batter us. You'll actually batter us. If
be a good game.
It'll be a good game, but I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be tough. But Andy, it's a pleasure for you for coming on my channel. And like I said, people, make sure you do subscribe to Andy's channel. The link is below. Please go and support. Like I said, I know people support my channel, but there is other channels that you can support. If you are a Barnsley fan, Forest fan, or any other football fan, please go and support and let Andy's channel grow. But Andy, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully you get some tears for tomorrow.
Good luck for the season after tomorrow.
And good luck. Good luck. Thank you very much, Andy.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, dude. Thank you very much. What a pleasure, Andy. Good lad, fantastic bloke. Hopefully, I'll see him next season if we don't get relegated. But people, before I do go, I'm doing a transfer and gossip review regarding what's happened today. That'll be out tomorrow morning. Craig and I won't be doing a watch along because I'll be at work. So it'll be Martin and Craig. And again, I just mentioned it. I've got a special vlog coming out. It's going to be something completely different that you cannot miss. Would you support your rival club for £1 million for 2 seasons? Something that you should be able to watch. It's going to be very interesting. Opinion from everyone. But yeah, it's fantastic. I thought I'd do something different. But that's it, people. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Like if you are new. But like I said, hopefully another big tomorrow as well. Tomorrow I'm doing a review as well at 9 o'clock. I'm doing 2 Forest fans. Hopefully I get a Barnsley fan on tomorrow as well. I hope everyone has a fantastic day tomorrow, and hopefully we have a fantastic win for Nottingham Forest. Up the Forest.